Hello my gorgeous YouTubers, this is my friend Cassandra, which you've previously seen in other videos. She let me turn her into Audrey Hepburn and then zombify her. So if you want to learn how to do this look, just keep watching. Also, Cassie styled this whole look, so if you want to see how she styled it and what she got, go to her blog, www.castles.ca. Audrey had perfect skin, so you want to apply a sheer foundation and then pat it with some powder afterwards to set it all. I'm just applying this with a beauty blender. To add to the perfect look, just make sure that you conceal the under eye. I'm using Double Wear Concealer by Estee Lauder. Add a light pink blush or peachy. I'm just using Legendary by MAC. It's from the Marilyn collection. Make sure that you don't forget to prime your eyelids so that your eyeshadow stays all day. Here I'm just using some MAC Prep and Prime. It's to set the concealer. And then I'm going to contour the nose with a matte bronzer and an angled brush. Audrey had a super pointy nose, so I'm just trying to create that look by the end of her nose, making a V shape, making it look pointy. But I didn't want it to look so fake, so I just did it a little bit. Audrey had really thick straight brows, so here I'm just creating that look with dip down and an angled brush. I'm using a little brush on the end to kind of smooth this out and make it look more natural as well. Highlight underneath the brow and on the brow bone with some Vanilla by MAC. Using Saddle by MAC and a pencil brush, just go in the crease of the eye and flick it out at the end. Using L'Oreal liquid liner, make a slight cat eye on your eye. You just go on the lash line, very close to the lash line, and then out just a little bit. Don't make a huge cat eye because Audrey didn't really have a big cat eye, but just a little one looks cute. Add some white onto the under lash line so that your eyes appear bigger. Using Espresso by MAC and an angled brush, I'm just going right underneath that waterline, just under the white line that we just did, because I didn't want it too noticeable, but I wanted the lashes to look longer. Then using Benefit They're Real mascara, apply one coat of mascara to your top lashes and a few to your bottom so they appear bigger. I'm just using some Quo lashes from the drugstore, I think that's how you say it. Put them on the lash line and then push up. Make sure that the glue is tacky before doing this. It usually takes about 30 seconds to get the glue tacky. If you need to, cover the glue and everything with a liquid liner just after it's dry. Apply a sheer coat of Pure Zen by MAC. It's kind of a peachy nudie color. It's adorable and it's totally Audrey. Now it's time to get creepy. Let's zombify her. I'm using the pale green from the Ben Nye Death palette. Here I'm just placing this on with a beauty blender. Don't forget the other parts of your body that are showing, like your neck, your arms, whatever you want that's close to your face, because it'll just look off if it's not all together. Using the darker green from the Ben Nye Monster palette, I'm just blending this in with a beauty blender into the contour parts. Then I'm adding Print by MAC onto the eyelids and underneath. This does not have to be perfect. This whole look is about being messy and grotesque. So just add as much or little as you want, and it doesn't have to be blended or anything. Just throw it on there. Contour the cheekbones to make yourself look hollow and dead. I used Carbon for this and then blended it out with the beauty blender. Contour the sides of your nose with the same color print, and then blend that all out with the Beauty Blender. Add some blush just to the apples of the cheeks. I'm just using the same blush that I did on the Pretty Audrey. It's the Legendary by MAC. Here I'm using 3rd Degree, and I'm just placing it on the one side of the mouth and then kind of around the lips. When you're doing this, you kind of want to create a V with the 3rd Degree and make it kind of thicker on the outside so it looks like the skin, like when it's all done, it'll look like the skin is kind of lifting on that area. You can also speed this process up by blow drying it. This will dry it faster. Be super careful with this part just because you can pinch the skin and that does not feel good. But you just want to lift up the middle of that V that you just made because it's kind of like a weird sticky type latexy material, and then if any of it lifts, just glue that back on with some duo glue, eyelash glue, and then cut away the pieces that are just kind of hanging, or rip them off would be better, but sometimes that's hard. You kind of want to make it look like the skin is lifting away from the mouth because you're going to put teeth in there and make it all gross. So just try to lift it as much as you can without pulling the actual thing off. I'm covering this whole thing with a layer of concealer so that it kind of mixes and blends well with the other color that I'm putting on, which is the same pale green that I used before. And then I'm going to contour the cheekbones so that none of that was erased, and blend that out with the Beauty Blender and add some grossness, which is add the dark colors around the edges like purples, blacks, and whatnot around the insides, and then on the middle you want to make it red and bloody and gross. This will give it some dimension and look more realistic. Honestly, this looks a lot harder than it is. It's very easy. You don't have to be perfect with this. Get messy and just throw some blood on there. It'll look real regardless. Also, you want to go along the edges with that dark color and then the red so that it looks like it's bleeding upwards into the skin. Now here I'm just using a sponge. It's kind of this sponge that looks like you clean with, and placing some fresh blood, and well, it's not real obviously, but it's this thing called fresh blood, and you sponge that onto the face so it looks like it's like sprayed. You can also do this with a toothbrush. I just had the sponge so it was easier. You just want to flick the blood onto your face with the toothbrush and then just mess it up a little. Just make it look gross and drip some blood, and it looks more real like that. Here I'm just adding some veins with the same Ben Nye palette, the Death Wheel. It's the red color in there, and then blending it out with a Beauty Blender so that it kind of looks like it's faded and inside of the skin. Now for the fun part. I made these teeth out of fake nails from Walmart and then painted the insides white so that they looked more like teeth. And then I'm just taking some of the same 3rd Degree to fit that inside of the lip and just push it up into where you think a tooth would be. And then just go along all the way to the end and back on the bottom, and then make that gross with some black and blood, and just throw some grossness on that. We didn't have a lot of time for this look, so I couldn't really cut up the teeth, but if you want to make this look even more like a zombie, I would probably cut the fake nails a little bit like sharper and like kind of angled different ways so it looks like the teeth are all cracked and whatnot. That would be fun. Here I'm just going in with the black and kind of outlining the teeth, and then I'm going to go in with some blood and throw that on there as well. I got a bottle of fake blood from the Halloween store where I live, and I'm just taking a brush, the end of it, and dipping it in and then dripping it down the face to make it look like it's just freshly been eating something. Make sure you put your hand under because it gets really gross. Subscribe if you want to see more Halloween makeup looks. Thanks for watching. And make sure you follow me and Cassie on Instagram at Denean Dale and at Castles Camponi. And if you want to see how Cassie styled this, go to her blog, www.castles.ca.